Hey guys, so we are on week 2. There has actually been some remarkable progress as far as what Jonah is doing now. What our session looks like typically is the therapist will come, sit down in the playroom here with Jonah, and Jonah will be playing with his toys, and our therapist will just join him and ask if, can I have a turn? And Jonah's learned how to say turn when he wants to do something, so they'll do interactive, like back and forth play. It's my turn, and then, when it's Jonah's turn, it's like, do you want to turn? Turn. So, it's verbalization and vocalization and trying to reinforce vocally asking and requesting for things. And we're trying to do that a little bit here at home. One of the things that JoJo established last year was using his own sign for please, which is like this. He'll do that for please. But he knows the word please. And so for my phone, he does this when he wants to play with my phone. But when he wants to play with my wife's phone, he'll actually say phone please. So we're trying to get him understanding that request please is universal for anything and doesn't mean, phone, mommy's phone. And so his word count, they assessed him for how many words that he had vocally, and they said he probably had about 75 to 100 words that he could say. This week, one of the things that he was able to do is they were blowing bubbles with him, and he was saying, unprompted, he would say more bubbles. And putting those two words together, more and bubbles, unprompted, is a huge step in what JoJo is able to do. Before, I would ask, do you want more? And then he would say, more. And they were able to get him to do that, but then what they would do is, after he would expect it, they wouldn't say anything. So he would figure out what it is that he needed to say to get more bubbles. And so I think that was great, that he's able to do that. And he's playing a lot of pretend, a lot of interactive play. I saw at church, when he goes to kids' church, they told me that he was interacting with the other kids and playing appropriately with them and playing, like chase games and having a lot of fun. And JoJo just absolutely loves when our therapist comes over. And he runs to the door, and they like to play peekaboo together, so he ran to the door when our therapist got there, and he goes, peekaboo! And he cracks up every time he gets to the, they just have a lot of fun. So dramatic increase in his back and forth play with others, with verbalization of requests, and with having him here as part of our routine. He's really warmed up to him in our therapist in the 2 weeks that he's been here. So a lot of positives. We did have one meltdown over not being able to use the phone when he did this, because I'm trying to reinforce that vocalization. He didn't actually verbalize please, and so we had a little bit of a tantrum for about half an hour. But then once he was done, he goes, okay, and started bedtime routine. And that was it. And at bedtime, this was around bedtime, and normally when it starts out as a tantrum at bedtime, it usually ends up as a meltdown, and it can last an hour, 2 hours, even longer sometimes. And so learning to cope with things when we don't get our way is another big step that I have a feeling we'll be learning quite a bit of. So anyways, just giving you an update. It's week 2, and I will talk to you guys next time.